Hi everyone, this is Julianne Victoria. Welcome to my channel and welcome to the 2022 Year Ahead Vedic Astrology readings. So these readings will be looking at the planetary placements in the year ahead. So the planetary placements on January 1st, 2022 and how they relate to your chart. Of course, as usual, to get a more in-depth personal reading, a personal reading will be required. And I am opening up readings for year ahead readings, Vedic astrology, Western astrology, as well as some tarot reading options. And the link is below in the description box for that. Also, if you're interested in taking one of my online courses that I offer over on Teachable, those will only be available through the end of 2021. And those include the Journey Through the Nakshatras course and Shedding Light on Your Karma and Dharma. Those courses include PDFs and downloads. So if you're interested in those, you want to get them before they're not available anymore, check below, find the links. I'll pin them at the top of the comments as well so you can find them and see if it's something you're interested in. All right, let's get on to our year ahead readings. Hi Aries, welcome to your 2022 year ahead Vedic astrology reading. So here I have a chart set up with you as the first house so you can see how this lays on your natal chart and how the drishtis all play out. Let's start over here in your ninth house. Ninth house is the house of religion, philosophy, spirituality, higher education, publication, law, politics, government, and so on. Ninth house is also a house of foreign travel. And as you probably know, your ninth house is the sign of Sagittarius. With especially the sun energy here, I could see many Aries traveling to sunny locations. May not play out literally like that. But traveling, if that's something you want to do, something you're able to do, I think would really be good for your soul. And it may be that you have a spiritual destination or a religious destination for the travel. It would be really good for your soul. It would help your soul, the sun representing your soul, to shine. Now, for those Aries who are in school, higher education, going back to school, thinking about going back to school, I would, I'd give that a thumbs up with this energy here. You'll be happy with the sun there. The moon is here, and I'm going to talk about that in a second. It would be a nice new beginning. So the new moon is actually on January 2nd. They are almost conjoined, so leading into the new moon. And we have Venus here, love and beauty and luxury, you can even say enjoyment, as well as creativity. So especially Aries who want to go back to school and study something creative or to enhance their creativity in their career path, whatever that career path is, I think it's a great idea to get that rolling or to continue it on through 2022 if you're already on that path. When it comes to politics and government and law as well, because this is the ninth house, anything that Aries do in that area, again, the sun, you're going to shine. You're going to love it. Venus is retrograde, which tends to internalize the energy. And then with the moon here, enjoy it quite a bit. Doesn't mean it's perfect every day, right? Okay, so the moon. So the charts I pull up January 1st, I adjust the time to get whomever I'm reading for, in this case Aries, into the first house so you can see how it would look on top of your chart. But at midnight on January 1st, the moon is actually still in Scorpio in the nakshatra of Jeshta at the Gandanta point. So a very intense moon in very intense Scorpio. And in your chart, Scorpio is your 8th house, the very intense house of transformation, change, death, the occult, the mystical. That includes astrology and all that is hidden and secret. But because the moon changes sign on the 1st, for those for whom it has changed signs, I'm kind of reading it in both. So the moon in Scorpio in the 8th with Mars in Jeshta in that 8th house. Like I feel a lot of, and Mars rules Scorpio, a lot of Aries are really looking for big change this year. That may be going back to school, seeking higher education. Higher education can also be spiritual education, and as the house, ninth house, as a house of spirituality and religion. It could be a new beginning on your spiritual path that brings great changes to your life as well, or going into law or something like that. Ninth house is also publication. Maybe you want to publish something you've created. But with the moon here at midnight, starting off the year, yeah, you're ready for new beginnings. And of course, then the new moon's on the 2nd. Aries want new beginnings. You're ready for it. You're fired up for it with Mars here, happy in Scorpio, happy in the 8th house. You're ready to move away from the past, which is what K2 represents here. So in a natal chart, he's past karma, past lives. But in a transit chart like this, it's more like the past, like 2021, or the past few years, or maybe the past of your adult life, for example. You're ready to move away from the past. You want this new beginning. You want to be free. So moon, right, changing from Scorpio to Sagittarius. Sagittarius, very adventurous, very exploratory. You want to be free to explore yourself and whatever it is you want to learn. And I should also mention, ninth house, like, it's higher education, but it can also be like you just want to study things. It could be you want to study religious texts. You want to study, it doesn't have to be religious actually, but higher education. You want to educate yourself in some way that's going to help with this new beginning to move away from the past. So I feel that's very powerful. It's a year, I mean, it's the new year, right? So it's a time for new beginnings, but like, this energy for you is like you really want new beginnings. And ninth house is philosophy. You want your new life to align with your personal life philosophies, and that's going to affect all the other areas of your life. Okay, let's move on to 10th house. Your 10th house is the house of career. Your 10th house is Capricorn. Capricorn is ruled by Saturn, who's here as the year begins. So he's very strong in this position. A lot of discipline, a lot of hard work, a lot of patience required for your career. You've already been feeling that energy in 2021. For those for whom have not been working, Saturn, and you've been feeling Saturn's restrictive energy in career, I suggest really focus on things that would be long-term. Saturn likes foundations and stability and long-term energy. So don't look for quick jobs, whatever. If you're not sure, make sure your work aligns with your personal philosophy. Make sure it's a breakaway from what you no longer want, what you want to leave in the past. And be prepared to work hard this year to build that foundation for your career, or build upon the foundation you already have for those employed and, out in the career world. We also have Mercury here in your 10th house, which, Mercury's the intellectual mind. Of course, he also represents technology, and who doesn't work with technology nowadays? But it brings in an extra strong technological emphasis, but also communication. For those Aries out there who write in some way for their career or have to communicate, this brings in more of that energy. It brings in great discipline to do your work as well. Okay. In your 11th house, which is gains from your career, we have Jupiter here. Your 11th house is the sign of Aquarius, which is also ruled by Saturn. And I should mention Saturn ruling 10th and 11th houses, here very strong in the 10th houses. You will get long-term gains from the hard work you do now, but you got to work hard in your career, or focus on the long term of your career. So Jupiter in the 11th house, though, brings growth and expansion and good luck. He's the great benefic, gains from career. So most Aries, I'm going to feel, this is a general reading, so it's hard to say because everyone's natal chart is different, but Jupiter in the 11th is in general pretty good for career. It's bringing in growth and expansion financially or with your career network. 11th house is also a social house, so friends and acquaintances, just general social life. So many Aries are going to, it's humanitarian sign of Aquarius, so it's the social sign, are going to have more social activities to do this year. Especially in contrast to the last couple of years with lockdowns and pandemic, etc. But you're going to be out there socializing, networking, especially because, again, Jupiter or Saturn rules Aquarius. It's going to help your career to establish more strongly, and it's going to bring in some gains and growth career-wise for you. So that's really nice as well. And then lastly, we haven't talked about Rahu here. So Rahu is here in your second house of money, gains, and finances, material things, your possessions. I call it the house of stuff. Your second house is the sign of Taurus. Rahu is motivation and ambition. It's the head of the snake. It's karmic action you want to put into play. And it's like you're focused, you're determined on bringing in gains. You're focused on your finances this year. And that actually complements, and Rahu actually has a drishti here, on the hard work in your career. So hard work is going to pay off. It will establish things long term, and you have the motivation, drive, and ambition to bring in gains, to improve your finances. So that is all very nice, Aries, very nice. And it all works with you wanting to bring in new beginnings, you coming out of your shell, so to speak, breaking away from past patterns that you no longer want, and letting that passion drive you forward. And of course, Mars is your ruler, Aries, right? You really want to bring about change. You really want to bring about change. So 2022, I'm going to say, is a year of major changes for Aries, but you can't just sit back and do nothing, right? You have to take action. You have to work hard. Okay. I feel like yours went very quick. That is your 2022 year ahead reading, Aries. I'm wishing you so much luck and have a wonderful year ahead.